Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Senate to review impeachment threat against Buhari Tuesday. Governor's threat to Nigeria's democracy, Gali Naba. Economic crisis, Nigerian government moves to ban eating of cow skin. Nigerian students take over roads leading to Lagos International Airport. Wife dies in accident chasing husband, side chick. And also on foreign story, Queen Elizabeth's coffin leaves for Windsor. And on sports, injured Musa may meet Super Eagles versus Algeria clash. And second sports starts getting excited. Mikel Owen tells Arsenal fans. The news in detail. The Senate will meet this week to review the 6-week ultimatum to give President Muhammadu Buhari to end insecurity or be impeached. The upper legislative chamber, billed to resume on Tuesday from the end of session recess, will sit as a whole to consider the security situation in the country since it gave the ultimatum and come up with further decisions. Some People's Democratic Party PDP legislators in the Senate had staged a walkout after Senate President Ahmed Lawan dismissed a motion by the minority leader Philip Aduda. The lawmakers left the chamber after Lawan did not allow Aduda to present his motion on insecurity. The opposition senators, numbering over 20, later gave the president a 6-week ultimatum to tackle insecurity in the country or face impeachment. Speaking after the walkout, the minority leader said he wanted to give President Muhammadu Buhari an ultimatum to address insecurity in the country or face impeachment proceedings. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Aviation, Senator Smart Adeyemi, representing Kogi West, who is also an APC member, later told journalists that the move for impeachment was a collective decision of the entire Senate. It is a collective decision. Perhaps only about 4 senators have reservation about it. Moving on to the next story. A former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Alhaji Gali Umar Naaba, has said that governors constitute a serious threat to the nation's democracy. Naaba said the governors had pocketed political parties and decided who would contest for positions in elections, thereby crippling democracy and rotating power among themselves without considering competency. Naaba, who was speaking at his residence in Kano when he received a delegation of the Naaba Youth Organization on a courtesy visit, said the citizens are now running away from politics as a result of what the governors are doing. He said since 1999, governors have been the problem of the country. They contributed to the death of democracy within the political parties. And when there are no elections within the parties, then incompetent leaders will emerge, and that will affect the whole system and the country's development too. The governors have caused all this. They will hardly hold primaries. Rather, they will ask you to go for consensus, which is wrong. Moving on to the next story as regards economy. The Nigerian government says plans are on the way to promulgate a law banning the consumption of animal skin, locally known as momo. Professor Mohammed Yakubu, the Director General of the Nigeria Institute of Leather and Science Technology, NILEST, Zaria, who made the disclosure, said the decision is geared towards resuscitating the moribund tanneries and leather industry in the country. He noted that the habit of eating animal skin, which had no nutritional value, should be stopped in order to save the industry and boost the nation's economy. He said, to the best of my knowledge, Nigerians are the only people in the world that overvalue skin as food. After all, the cow skin has no nutritional value. The DG said the institute, in collaboration with stakeholders in the industry, would approach the National Assembly and state government to bring out legislation banning the consumption of the cow skin in the country. He further said at the point there was a motion before the 2 chambers of the National Assembly. It was debated, but I don't know how the matter was thrown away. Moving on to the next story as regards the ASU strike. Roads leading to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos have been blocked by the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, protesting the month-long closure of universities due to the ASU strike. It's coming in a continuation of a series of protests which began last week. NANS now extended the demonstration to disrupt traffic flow on roads leading to the international airport across the country, beginning with Lagos. Akinteye Babatunde, the association's vice president, external affairs, said Airport Road were chosen because of their ability to disrupt the routing of the elite, one that the government seeks to protect. We know the federal government values the elite more than we, the poor citizens of this country. And this is our action, and our action is going to affect majority of the elite and integrity of the federal government, he said. The student group began its demonstration last week with the disruption of the stakeholders meeting of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Oyo, asking the party's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, to clarify his position on the strike and support the demonstrations. NANS vowed to continue the protest until ASU called off the strike.
From Monday, September 18, over the lingering strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. It said its decision to ground airport activities was due to the successes recorded in its road protest, during which several highways were blocked. The leadership of NANS, who spoke in Akure, the Ondo State capital, said the grounding of airports was to make the rich share in the pains of the students occasioned by the prolonged strike action. Meanwhile, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has assured that everything possible within the ambit of the law will be done to protect airport operations from being disrupted. This is just as key players in the country's aviation sector have described the contemplation of the students to shut down the airport as a wrong decision that will not bring the required solutions. Across the country, beginning from Monday,
a woman whose identity is yet to be known was involved in a ghastly motor accident on Sunday evening in Calabar while allegedly chasing her husband on the highway. The lady is said to have died minutes after being rushed to the hospital. Eyewitnesses said the lady spotted her husband at Spa Calabar shopping mall with another woman who she suspected was dating her husband and decided to pursue after them. A few minutes later on the highway, she crashed off the road in an attempt to double-cross the duo. An eyewitness explained that the lady saw her husband at Spa shop with another woman in the car, so she hurriedly drove to double-cross them. The husband saw her car and zoomed off, so the woman became aggressive and sped off. I was just driving behind them, and in less than 3 minutes, I saw her involved in the accident. She was unconscious at the point of death. The husband that was running suddenly dropped off the lady who was with him and rushed down to assist in reviving her from the car. She has been rushed to the hospital. We pray she survives it. Minutes later, the lady was later confirmed dead due to the injuries she sustained from the crash. The sector commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, FRC, Mekano Hassan, confirmed the incident to Vanguard. He said the accident was caused by overspeeding. Though the woman was immediately rushed to a nearby hospital, she died minutes later due to the injuries sustained from the incident, he concluded. Moving to the next story as regards the world news. Operative of Abagana Community Vigilante in Njikoka, local government area of Anambra State, have arrested an alleged notorious armed robber terrorizing members of the community and its environs. The man, whose only identity was given as Eke Nimo, was apprehended over the weekend by the vigilante operatives. He was said to hail from the neighboring Nimo community in the same local government. In a now viral video on social media, operative of vigilante services stated that the man, who is notorious for snatching motorcycles, had been on their wanted list. He ran to the home of his lover. This is the woman, and she harbored him and has been feeding him and his gang. We traced him and found him. The narrative come when the operative narrated the video while showing the picture of the alleged lover. According to the narration from the vigilante operative Ekenimo, upon confrontation with the operative, escaped through the roof of the building. The operative said he was shot at, but because of the charms he had in his body, he was not harmed. But the operative continued to pursue him until he was tracked down. Items recovered from the alleged robber were his charms, which came in the form of beads and jewelry, and 3 motorcycles suspected to have been snatched from unsuspecting residents and owners. Attempt to reach the spokesperson of the Anambra State Police Command, DSP, Tochukwu Ikenga, for confirmation were not fruitful. Masquerade yesterday invaded a church in Shikal Community, Langtang, South local government area of Plateau State, and disrupted services as a flood bewildered worshippers destroying the church property. It was gathered that the masquerade arrived at the church premises while service was ongoing and started flogging worshippers as they scampered for safety. The invaders later turned to the church musical instruments and other property and destroyed them. However, the state police public relations officer, Alfred Alabo, confirmed the incident but gave no details. He said the DPO of the area has confirmed that it is true. They are working on the situation and the area is calm. It said masquerades went to a church and disrupted their activities. The investigation is ongoing. We will give full details when we have them. In case of those joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV. Now to the foreign story. Queen Elizabeth's coffin has left for Windsor Castle around 1:40 p.m. on Monday, where the monarch will be buried this afternoon to end a 10-day long of mourning. The state funeral of the late Queen has gathered about 500 heads of state and world dignitaries to honor her 70-year reign as the longest-serving British monarch in history. The attention has shifted away from Westminster Abbey, where Her Majesty's life was commemorated in one of the most historic events the country has seen in recent years. King Charles III and other royal families, as well as government officials led by UK's Prime Minister Liz Truss, were in attendance at Westminster. After being loaded into a hearse, the Queen's coffin departed Wellington Arch following a royal salute and the playing of the national anthem. Crowds clapped and cheered as the hearse drove past. It has now headed to its final destination in Windsor, a town about 30 miles southwest of London, where the Queen will be buried. King Charles III and the Queen Consort, along with the Prince and Princess of Wales and other members of the royal families, are departing for Windsor by car, followed by those who are to take part in the procession in Windsor. Finally, on sport, as regards Ahmed Musa. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa is doubtful for the team's friendly against Algeria as a result of injury. The 29-year-old sustained an injury in his Turkish club Sivasspor 2-1 defeat at Ankara Gucci on Sunday night. Musa was treated on the pitch for what looked like a shoulder injury, but was later replaced by Cameroon international Clinton Inje on 19th minute. A scan will be carried out today to determine the extent of the injury on Ahmed Musa. Super Eagles coach Ahmed Musa has had a rejig his squad following injuries to Leon Balogun and Henry Oyekuru. The duo have been replaced by Valentin Ozowafor and Emmanuel Dennis. And to some story from the EPL. Former England striker Michael Owen has told fans of Premier League leaders Arsenal to start getting excited about the team's current position on the table. He said the fans could finally get excited after many years of struggle, adding that Mikel Arteta has nurtured a side full of confidence and maturity. Arsenal remain top of the Premier League table going into the international break after defeating Brentford 3-0 on Sunday. Apart from a 3-1 defeat to Manchester United a fortnight ago, the Gunners have won all 6 out of their 7 Premier League games. And Owen says after a difficult few years for Gunners supporters, can finally get excited as the team is the real deal now. That performance compared to last season was different class. We looked at the fixtures they have played already and they have been favorable for them, Owen said on Premier League Productions. The 5 matches which they won and their first big test against Manchester United, they didn't let themselves down, but they stumbled. That concludes the world news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Senate to review impeachment threat against Buhari Tuesday. Governor's threat to Nigeria's democracy, Gali Nahba. We also brought to you Nigerian students take over roads leading to Lagos International Airport. And finally, on sport, injured Musa may meet Super Eagles clash with Algeria on the friendly. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our details. I'm on Facebook, Babagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Babagede Imo _22. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on the screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI.